Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Megan Heyhurst, and I'm joined alongside by Mike Heyhurst. And this is a whole brand new year, so a brand new season of the L'Orange Ice Wolves podcast hosted by us. And we have our first episode debuting here right now as Mike and I get to sit down and interview head coach and GM Kevin Kaminski and assistant coach Kyle Schneider. So, Mike, what are your thoughts, though, before we get into the interviews about how the boys' season has been so far? We are now 11 games in. Kevin Kaminski is back behind the bench.
Yeah, I think starting off the season with Schneider running the bench has been great for Kyle. And, he finished with a good record. And I think the boys are off to a good start, and they're finding chemistry. And I think they're doing well.
Okay, now and off to a good start. This year, our podcast is also a video podcast, so it will also be available on all the platforms as well, but also putting the video side of it on YouTube. Traveling on the road, though, we didn't bring our full-blown setup, so sorry, today's is just basically a Zoom call so that you can get a couple of different angles of everybody speaking, so you get kind of the gist of it, a new insight to things.
Who's bringing us this podcast this year?
So this podcast is sponsored by the JRMCC, and a huge thank you to them because they provide the L'Orange Ice Wolves with an amazing workout facility. So thank you to everyone involved there who helps them to, get their memberships or lead the workout, things like that. So very important to have the JRMCC as a valued sponsor here hosting for sponsoring this podcast for this season. So with that being said, we're going to go to a commercial from the JRMCC, and then we'll be back with our guests for episode 1 this season. This episode is brought to you by the Jonas Roberts Memorial Community Center. So much to do in one stop. Fitness center, gym, hall, boardroom, rink, ball diamonds, mini golf course, golf simulator, and more. Stop in today for all of your sports and recreational needs. So let's talk about this season right now. You guys have some good things going. What are your thoughts on how things are starting off for you guys?
Well, I think obviously gotta give Schneider a lot of credit for taking the reins.
Running the bench for the first time for 10 games by yourself.
It's good experience for him, and Rob Wilson stepped in and did a great job as well. And he went 5-4-1, so winning record, and that's what we wanted. So I think with again we've had a lot of injuries already.
Yeah.
And I think there was some more last night, and so we'll see what we got to adjust the lineup tomorrow. But I think our goal. We'll start with our goaltending. I think our goaltending is a very good duo, a tandem that Dawson has had that experience last year. We really like Topher. We know he's the game against Humboldt, and then I think it was Melfort that
early game in the season.
And we didn't play well in front of him, but we really like Topher's compete, his passion, his no quit on any puck, and he plays his angles well, and just a great kid that brings an unbelievable work ethic. So we feel we've got one of the best goalie tandems in the league, and then Topher, like I said, we had a great talk with Topher, and nothing like losing against Humboldt and then throwing right into the fire.
Yeah,
and,
right back at it.
What he accepts that challenge, and he played a hell of a game in Humboldt and got us the win there. So like I said, we're very happy with our goaltending. We just need to play a little bit better in front of whoever's in the net that night. Yeah, both guys.
Yep.
And then defense out, like I said, Liam McInnes has had a couple injuries. He's one of our power play guys and leaders and everything else, and so it'll be nice to get him back probably next Saturday when we play. So, but yeah, we've got some good veteran leadership, back there with, Abrick. Then we have, and Parker Layton, that's been a year in here. Then you got, like I said, we got a big young kid, Silzer. We got the trade with Coyle that's very mobile and puck moving D-man and physical. We got Gust and Bell, and who else we missing? Graham.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said,
One of the Langley boys. Yep.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of, some stay-at-home D-men, some good offensive guys. So we have a little bit of mixture, and I think we have the right chemistry. Now with Liam being out, I think it does hurt our power play a little bit, but guys are filling in, and we do have a very good power play so far.
Did you guys want to focus on that this year? The power play and the penalty kill, as special teams is a huge part of the game nowadays. So is that a thing that you wanted to focus on going into this year?
Yeah, I think, obviously special teams is with the way the game's called these days is sometimes you can play more 5-on-4 or 5-on-3 than you do 5-on-5 straight up. So yeah, it's definitely special teams can win or lose you hockey games, right? So, our penalty kill, we really didn't make a whole lot of adjustments. It kind of comes down to personnel as well.
Yep.
Like you got to have the right guys and the guys committed and buying into the system that we're trying to preach. I think on the power play side, like just having constant communication, video work, and practice. I think we're spending a little more time on it. Not to say that we didn't last year. It's just, you have those ups and downs, like I said again, where you can get hot and you can score a couple and 3 games in a row, and then you might go cold for the next 3. But as long as you're doing the right things and getting the quality chances, we're happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the prep for the season, last year you guys were together, but you were coming in after a COVID year where you, as the general manager, and your scouts didn't get to see a lot of kids the year before because most of them played 5 or 6 games wherever they were playing. How much more do you feel comfortable going into season after knowing your scouts and yourself have had a full season the year before to prepare? Like, I felt like last year, and everybody's in the same boat. So, you have put your team together, but sometimes these new players that you haven't seen only 6 games, it's, you have to wait and see what you have on the ice. So this year, do you feel more ready that way, or more what to expect? I guess.
Well, I think we've got some good returning forwards up front, and a few more demon than we had last year. And guys seem to be, buying into the systems or the foundation. And like I said, I think our scouts do a great job of recruiting, and like I said, they couldn't get out that much the year before with COVID and everything, and then you have to kind of just rely on your connections. I have a lot of connections all over the place, and they kind of give me a lowdown of what type of player they are, and do we need that type of player, or do we have too many of that, or
find the balance of
exactly, find that right chemistry, that right fit for to make it work. And so far, like I said, I think we've got some good mileage out of some guys. Just like the last few days we've been working on scoring in practices, because we get hot and then we get cold, right? And it just showed last night that I don't know how many open nets we missed last night, right? And we had some very good chances, we just didn't finish. So there's always an ongoing process in your game, that there's something to work on, right? And whether it's power play, whether it's penalty kill, D zone coverage, scoring, forecheck, whatever it is. But and again, you just have to keep on nose to the grindstone. And Schneider is a good backboard. 23 years of coaching, and I still sometimes like, what are we missing?
What's
And again, it just showed, like I said, I think against Melfort and Humboldt, we talked about the second and third effort and paying the price to score.
Yeah.
And, so then we did, we obviously the game went down to the wire at Humboldt, but we found a way to win. And then last night, I thought after probably the first 10 minutes of the first, we kind of got better and better as the game went along and took over. But unfortunately, I think we outshot them 28 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys came back with the shots.
We only give up 21 shots, right? So usually we have our team goal is to give up only 26 shots or less a game. And that's the only time so far since I've been in the Ronge in 4 years is when we lost.
Yeah.
Right. So and that's going to happen whether hot goalie or you said you miss some open nets.
Yeah, just sometimes the bounces. Like I don't know what it looked like to you guys, but last night's game, I just felt that puck just looked like a basketball out there. And sometimes the bounces go your way, and I know there's the saying you earn your bounces, and I'm not saying you didn't earn them, but it just seemed like a bouncing puck all night, and just a little bit, I like the chances were there, and just a bounce here and there.
Right.
So you had touched on a word that I'm going to single out: missing. Obviously, you were missing from behind the bench for the first 10 games of the season. And Kyle, you had to take over as head coach. What was that like for you, Kyle, to start the season that way?
Yeah, well, like kind of as Killer said earlier, it was a good experience for myself selfishly. I mean, obviously I would have rather had Kevin on the bench with me, but I think I learned a lot through that 10 games with just having to do, Kevin was still around for practices and whatnot and helping me prepare. And I leaned on him a lot, but when you're actually in the moment and it's kind of all on you to present the pregame speech and the in-between period speeches, you got to have a plan and you got to be prepared and know what you're going to say and relay the message. Like you can have lots of thoughts in your head, but how do you get it out, right?
Get it to something that they can understand.
Exactly.
And be effective. Yeah.
And then just bench management, I told Kevin this a few times last year where there's times in the second period where I thought we might have had to go in there and kick a garbage can, but Kevin would go in there with just a calm presence and that's what the guys needed at that point. And I think that comes with 23 years of experience where he just knows when to push players and maybe when to be a little bit of a softer touch. And so I think that was good for me to go through that too.
Yeah.
And kind of go through some ups and downs through the 10 games, but overall, I think we showed some character to come back from, 4 losses in a row with a big win against Melfort. And then again, to back it up with a big win against Humboldt to give them their first loss of the season. I was pretty proud of the group to show some heart and the care factor and the want and will to be the best team in the league.
And what about for you, Kevin, watching him have to go through that and step up to that? How do you think he did?
Well, he did a fantastic job. He makes my job, Schneider makes my job easier. I mean, during those 10 games, besides the last game, I had to sit on the bus and listen to it because someone was on my accounts. I couldn't even watch it on my phone. So. But anyway, I got to spend, a lot of time at home, just sitting in my bed. We got the hockey TV on, watching the game, and I made a whole bunch of different notes, and we showed a lot of video. So that was a good experience for me to learn my team, because on the bench it's a fast game.
Yeah, and you've got a lot going on.
You only see what you see, right? And that's one of the things I tell my players. I go, look, if I try and be demanding without being demeaning, and like I said, I try and push my players to get the best out of them. And if like I said, the game's fast. If I say something on the bench to a player, don't take it personally, right? Yep. Just say underneath your breath, F you, coach, and I'm going to do better.
Yeah.
And if you think it was the wrong thing by what I seen, the video doesn't lie. Come in my office. we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Right. I could be wrong too. I'm wrong sometimes,
Megan's wrong sometimes too.
We're always looking at something. If I think I saw something, he thinks he saw something else. He's always pulling up Hockey TV too, right? Right there.
Like
Yeah.
said, it's a two-way street. Like I said, it happens fast, and this is what I see at the time. And if I give you a little bit of heck, don't take it personally. I'm just trying to get the best out of you, and you need to be better. But if you think, hey, coach, can we see the video tomorrow? You bet we can.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. I'm a coach trying to get better after 23 years too. I need to keep learning. I got to be a sponge and listen to other coaches and, go on websites and find different things, the little nuances of the game that are always changing.
Yeah, it's a evolving game as, compared to, I'm sure when you started coaching to now,
right?
It's a little different for you from when you started coaching, but but I'm sure you're probably being a sponge too, learning from Killer and learning just from your own experiences.
You bet. Yeah, as a player, Kevin was for sure my favorite coach I ever had, and I think one of his strengths and something that I'm trying to make a strength of mine is when you build relationships with players and you come a little personal and personable with players, it's a lot easier to give some tough love because they realize that during the game, it might be hard to listen to and there's some tough coaching moments, but after the game, you can come into our office and we could talk about it. We could break it down. Yeah. And as Kevin said, he's just trying to get the best out of you.
Yeah. And
I think that's a great way to coach. You see players throughout the years that Kevin's been here. I think all of us, and I'll definitely speak to this, we wanted to run through a wall for him.
Yeah.
And that's the passion that he has for hockey. And you can just see how much he cares. And it's hard not to buy into that as a player.
Yeah. And that brings to the next, you mentioned, he's the best coach you've played for, and, you'd run through a wall. And that brings up your newest hire this year. You guys brought on a player that, only played half a season for you. And, you loved it so much, he's sticking around, Parker Foffenoff. So what do you guys think of old Foff back behind the bench with his training expertise? And
Foff is a great kid. He's, there's an avenue that he wanted to take and worked out great. He's done his medical stuff. He's done some taping sessions already. So he's just as himself as a player, you got to prepare, and as a trainer, he's got to prepare. Obviously, there's lots of things to do as a trainer.
Yeah. And
like I said, a trainer's job, it never ends either, and it's late hours and just like I said, and still we help them out with the towels or sewing up equipment. I've got my needle.
Got your needle and thread going. Yeah.
I got the thing where it's a big leather thing that goes over your hand, and it has where you push the big needle through. So
for that.
It's just we try and help each other out. But Foff has made our job easier because
definitely
we kind of. When Pacey wasn't there, we had to.
You guys were doing all the training stuff, so
towels and sharpening skates, and then you have to do it was.
And is Foff good at the skate sharpening?
Yeah.
Do you trust him to do your guys' skates?
No.
He's a quick learner.
Yeah, that's good.
I just stand there, so
yeah. Well, it's pretty cool for me. Foffer is actually a former teammate of mine as well at Melford, so it's pretty cool to reconnect with him. And last year when we brought him in, I obviously could be a character reference, being a former teammate of his, and he did a great job coming in for us last year. And he's just a hockey guy and he's a team guy. He likes being a part of something, and he's been a big help so far.
Yeah, brings great energy like you did as a player.
Yeah, that's good.
So we should really touch on another past player that you had, Kevin, who has now taken over as a head coach role in the States in Fresno, Dalen Mannon.
Yes.
Is that a surprise to you? Did you see that in his career moves? What are your thoughts there?
Well, I think I knew he kind of had that side to him, but it just it was weird because his former lineman, Cody Key, who had coached there 2 years before, did unbelievable job. And then he's into the racing and all this stuff. And I think he got a really good offer to go work somewhere. So they had hired another guy. The Monsters had hired another guy. And things turned sideways. So they were looking for a coach, and again, a hometown boy from Fresno, and he has a really good relationship with the owner, Jeff Blair. So, I guess it worked out great for him. And I know he's going to do a great job. He has a great knowledge for the game. Obviously, he's got some great offense.
Yeah,
I might have to help him out on defense,
on the back check. Yeah,
but no, he'll get those guys going. He can explain the game well, and he, like I said, I went home there back to Saskatoon for Thanksgiving, and we talked for quite a while. On my way back to Laurence, he was asking me a whole bunch of different questions, and I had left a book with the practice plans and the foundation and all that stuff for Cody Key, the former player, now coach, or was a coach. So he has all that stuff anyway. But yeah, I think Mano has just a great attitude. He's always has a smile on his face, and but like I think he said, man, how did you do all this stuff? And
I'm sure there's so much behind the scenes that nobody, unless you've done it, would know what it takes to actually do the head coaching and general manager job of any hockey team like this.
But I think it's good. It's good for Fresno. It's good for the hockey community. Like you said, he has a great attitude towards the game, and he's going to do really well there with the Monsters.
So another change this season that kind of occurred off the ice, but gets to carry over onto the ice. The uniforms, the jerseys, they seem to be in the stands. You love them or you hate them. What are your guys' thoughts on them?
Well, we designed them.
So you guys don't like them?
We love them.
No.
A majority really love them too. So you'll get a couple of comments about them here and there, but they're pretty great overall. We like them.
What have your guys' been reactions to them?
Well,
have there been a favorite?
I haven't been in the ring.
Well, I guess you're finding out.
I'd agree though. Yeah, it's probably love or hate though. Purple's the original Ice Wolf jersey colors, right? So that was our thought behind bringing that back. And it's been over 10 years now without since the last championship, right? So we thought a new look and maybe a new year and a new mindset for the Ice Wolves was a good idea.
Yeah, we went more with the San Jose teal. Now they changed kind of back to the green that we had, and it was tough to find that, it wasn't a real teal, but it was kind of a teal, right? So it was tough to find that green with other things. So, but anyway, we went with the San Jose teal and just with the third jersey, I can't remember who it was, just the LA North, LA, Hollywood is beautiful, but LA North is has even more than that, right? So we designed that logo, which I thought was awesome, and that's our one little thing, especially when we play Saturday. Saturday night, we don't lose in LA North.
Saturday night in LA North, no place I'd rather be.
There we go.
Oh, it's great, right? We need that on a bumper sticker now. Along with the bleed teal.
Right.
What about the fan base? What are your guys' thoughts on the fans in Laurence and playing at the Mel Hagelin? I know we kind of touch on it every year, but it's something else.
Well, you can go first as a player.
Yeah, I think the Ice Wolves community as a whole is just unbelievable. From our billets to our board to all the people behind the scenes to make it work, to our fans who are so important to our team. The Mel is a special rink. It is an unbelievable home ice advantage when it is rocking. It's hard to think out there, right? You're just running off energy and just feeding off that crowd. And, I remember back to playoffs where that was Kevin's first year as head coach with the Laurence, and he told me a story that the pictures in his office were shaking. It was so loud from the stomping on the bleachers. And, I remember coming out to that and it was just like, how can't you get up for this? So to our fans, we appreciate your support. We couldn't do it without you, and keep coming out when you can.
And I think just for myself too, all of what Schneider said, this is it's a great little community, and I think we got to give kudos to our players. To obviously, don't get me wrong, obviously the winning bring success, right?
Yeah.
But I also think that the players have done an extremely important and awesome job of getting themselves into the community, and it's been huge. We want to try and do every promo we can that comes across our desk.
Yeah.
If it's the timing is right, but like I said, like I said, with the billet families, we have a lot of minor sports kids, that play hockey and they go out to help them. And then we had the first year, especially, we had 3 guys working over at the school, and guys working at different jobs around the community. And I think with us being involved in the community, we brought the people back and to the Mel, but also, like you said, the winning success has helped out big time too. So it really goes good together. And like I said, it's nice to, when you're walking into a store and co-op especially, because it always seems like there's fans there every time you go in. You're only going in for 10 minutes, and next thing you know,
you're in there for an hour.
Talking to the meat guy and the bacon guy. Like, it's just, it's never, but that's what it's all about. It's about them wanting to know what's going on, but you being a part of them, and that's what makes it work. So
and obviously I've only been a part of the small town, but being such a small town, it just feels like they're invested in it. They feel like they're part of the team as fans as well. So
for sure. In the playoffs, like I said, Schneider touched on that. It was absolutely just phenomenal how loud and the great atmosphere it was, and the burbits getting thrown on the ice. And, it's just like I said, it's a great little community to live in, and I've really enjoyed my time.
All right. So before we wrap things up here, let's touch on the next 2 games that are coming up. Today's the day off here in Yorkton, but tomorrow, so Friday evening, it's the Melville Millionaires. What are your guys' thoughts going into that one? First time seeing them this season.
Yeah, obviously Melville is a team that has a lot of speed this year. They got a good, really solid top 6 forward group. They got quite a few returning players, an experienced team. It's always, as we tell our guys all the time, there's so much parity in the SJHL. Like, any team can beat anybody on any given night. So you got to be prepared and ready to play our game to our best of ability, and we'll adjust to them tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I think Melville, like I said, they've made a lot of changes for the better to have, to really have a good chance to, show some stuff this year and make playoffs. Like you said, the parity in this league is crazy this year, and you can't take a night off,
Right.
And Melville's, like I said, you got to make sure you shut down those top 2 lines, and you got to work them and out-discipline them. And like I said, we got to be road warriors, and we got to go in there and steal 2 points tomorrow, and then regroup and give Yorkton the payback as well Saturday night, and get home to get some rest.
This episode is brought to you by the Jonas Roberts Memorial Community Center. So much to do in one stop. Fitness center, gym, hall, boardroom, rink, ball diamonds, mini golf course, golf simulator, and more. Stop in today for all of your sports and recreational needs. All right, a big thank you to our guests, head coach and GM of the Laurent Ice Wolves, Kevin Kaminski, and assistant coach of the Ice Wolves, Kyle Schneider. So, Mike, before we go, what are your thoughts on the game coming up in Melville here? First time seeing them?
Yeah, I'm thinking the boys are going to come out flying, get pucks deep, as they say. And I think they're going to get back on the winning track. I think last game was, just a tough road loss, but I think they're going to come back, be able to take 2 points out of Melville, and then come back and get some redemption against the Yorkton Terriers on Saturday before they head home for a week off.
Yep. So before we sign off here, I want to have a big thank you to our sponsor, the JRMCC,
Yes, thank
for
you.
being our podcast sponsor. So thank you. And everybody tune in next week as our guests are captain of the Larange Ice Wolves, Walker Jerome, and assistant captain, Ethan Strick. So stay tuned for that one.
Entertaining duo.
Absolutely. And before we sign off here today, there's also one little special treat that you guys get to see here, a quick little segment of our quote of the week from Rylan Silzer. And that quote of the week is brought to you by AGI Envirotank Limited. So stay tuned for that, and we will catch you all next week for episode number 2.
Stand at the point, shoot the puck, but in D zone, if you get trapped in there for a couple minutes, it gets pretty tiring, but I like moving the puck and, getting hit the odd time feels good. So.